So sometimes we have all of these grand ideas, business ideas, but we don't know how to make them come true. We don't know how to make them come into fruition. So this is what I'm going to talk about today, like from business idea to profit. And it could be making your first 1K, 5K, 10K, whatever it is. We're going to talk about it right here. So without further ado, let's get into it. My name is Ahmad, man. This is As I Am Candle Co. I make candles. I've made candles now about 5 years. Also make videos now. Who would have thought? And I'm just talking from my experience as an entrepreneur, in business and in life, some of the things that I've learned. And today we're going to talk about how to make a profit, man, in your business. If you're a candle maker, this is going to be for you as well. So stay tuned. I got 4 points and a bonus, and I'm going to get you out of here. So stay tuned. It shouldn't be too long. Let's do it. The first thing, if I was trying to profit my business, is, or I'm creating a business, or I'm creating an idea, and I'm trying to like, okay, how fast can I turn a profit? The first thing I would kind of look at is I would search my community. And when I'm saying search my community, it's not like just friends and family. I would just kind of look around and see what's going on. And I would try to find, I know people say start with a problem, right? Not a product. And now I would kind of do the same thing. I would start with a problem, not a product. What I mean with that is, if you got people that clean trash cans, you got people that cut grass, you got people that make content, you got people that they rent inflatables, just look around and see, okay, what's something that's in my area is something that I want to build, right? When you're looking at what you want to build, make sure it's an idea that's realistic for you. Like if you're not gonna go clean nobody trash cans, don't start no trash can cleaning business. I would say that when you're starting with a problem, just find a few of them that you say, okay, this is something that I want to learn. This is something that I think I can do. Write them down and then get real honest with yourself. Like, I mean, really, really, really honest with yourself about what you can do and what you can't do. Side note, I think for me, I struggled a long time because it's ideas that I wanted to do, but I just realistically couldn't get them done right then. And that's a hard thing to accept because of your ego and your pride and da 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 da. But if you understand that, then you can save yourself time investment on the back end. You know what I mean? Trying to put something together that you realistically just can't put together right now. And that's okay because a lot of times you'll be able to put it together probably a lot quicker than you think you would at another time instead of trying to figure it out now. So start with a problem, not a product. Figure out something that's going to be easiest for you to do and most realistic, and start there. The second part of that, this is the second part, is once you find an idea, do some research on the idea. So make sure that, okay, I have a problem that I think that people are going to want. Research doesn't have to be, I know for me, I used to think research has to be like all in depth, like you got to spend hours and hours and hours. And it's not necessarily that. You can watch some YouTube videos on the idea that you have to see, okay, how much time would it realistically take for me to do this? How long before I can make a massage therapist business? How many clients do I have to have? Am I okay with making clients? Like before I was making candles, I was looking at trades. I looked at a lot of different things. And I'm like, okay, schooling, price, time. Do I have to be able to build a business this way? Like, it's really finding, okay, what is going to be the problem? What is going to be the easiest way to that solution? Business is not easy, right? I'm not saying that it is, but you want to make things as easy as possible for yourself. If we're trying to make money, we don't want to spend all day trying to find a problem that nobody really has but you. And it can be a problem that you have, but then you have to try to find a market, sell to the market, and convince people that they, you know what I'm saying, convince people that you want. If you're a hell of a salesman, you can do that. But I think for most of us, we have busy lives. So we're trying to get from idea to execution as quick as possible. Start with a problem, not a product. Second thing, test that idea. So for me, candles, I knew people like candles. So what did I do? I made candles. I see if people wanted them. I might have charged a few bucks for them or whatever. And then I just take the feedback from that and say, okay, is this something that I could do more of? Now that I'm thinking about it, it was a good idea. But I also think that it's probably better ideas that I could have done instead of making candles. But it's a good idea, especially when you're talking about like time. The only time you're really spending is to learn how to do it. And then once you're doing, like, getting good at it. So that's probably the second part that I would say to that. The third part, as I was just alluding to, is making a product. So it just has to be whatever the simplest version of the product is, or whatever the simplest version of the idea is. For me, as a candle maker, I am making a candle, right? My first candle was not good. I talked about it all the time. They weren't great. They terrible. They probably didn't even smell well. But I think people honored the idea that I was even being creative and thinking outside the box, which I think is another thing that you should do. This is not a point, but this is just something. Think outside the box. I think that you can, like, even when I was making candles, for example, right? This was on TikTok. It was going viral. It was a girl who she made like candles. I think she made candles out of like purses, not candles out of purses, but she made like candle purses. I don't know how to explain it, but her idea was like a candle, but it was like different purses. And then another person, she was doing like the glowing glitter thing, and these things went viral because it's different. I'm a regular candle maker. I just make regular candles. I don't really do this stuff like that, but for that might make things go viral because it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's unique, and sometimes that's what people look for. So think about that when you're thinking about your idea. But make a viable product, as they would say, which is just making a product that you can just test, give to people. You can try out with friends, see if they like it. Different things. Might be a shoe, a sneaker, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You just need to be able to create that idea. Say you want to make a sneaker brand. So real quick, let's go through that. So the problem is, okay, they don't have shoes that provide enough cushion and support. Okay, I know that that's a problem. Let's do a research. What companies focus on that? Okay, you got Nike, you got these, that, and the third. Okay, but my shoe specifically makes sure that athletes have more bounce. Well, how many products is that? And it's just kind of like niche it down until you figure out, okay, I can provide support, cushion, but it also moves with your ankle movements. I have a shoe that moves with my ankle movement. So every time I move, my shoe moves to kind of prevent from me having ankle injuries. All right, boom. So now that's your product. So how do we test that? Let me get a silhouette of the shoe. I need to find a vendor. I need to put it together. Even if I don't have a vendor, let me get some materials to where I can do the midsoles, the outer soles. You know what I'm saying? Put the layers together, get whatever the tech is I need from it, and then I can try it. That's your product. And then you take it to market. So taking it to market could say, hey, I got an athlete friend who plays basketball. Hey, bro, can you try these on? Like, just do a couple quick moves, cuts in me, whatever. And then okay, this is viable, this is not viable. Same thing with candles. I made a couple candles, I gave them to friends, I sold them to friends. See, okay, do they like it? Do they not like it? And you have to take your ego and pride out of it. That is another thing. I think a lot of times we're like, no, this is the idea that I want. It's gonna work. I'm gonna make it work. And you think that if the idea is not good and that you quote unquote give up on it, that you're like giving up on you, and that's not true. You're finding an idea that people actually want, and that is going to save you time and headache, right? You have to take your pride out of it and say, oh, I'm just a terrible person because I got this idea and people don't want it, and I'm not going to quit. I'm going to make sure that we get in our mind and we think that that's like a form of persistence, but sometimes that's just a form of foolishness. You know what I mean? Because you're wasting time trying to, and I'm telling you from experience, you're wasting time trying to persuade the market to have something that they don't really want. Now, here is the caveat to that. If you do have a product and you just feel like God Himself told you this is what you need to do, then work with that. Like if you really ultimately believe in your product, give it all you got. Because the only way you'll know is if you try, right? If you don't try, you won't know. But if you're just trying to force a product because you think, oh, this is something I think I want to do, and people should want this, but they don't really want it. Just look at the data and the feedback. That's all that I'm saying, right? Just look at the data and the feedback. So the fourth part of that is making your first sale. So like I said before, if you're doing a shoe or you're doing a candle, once you got a decent product, say I'm doing a shoe, I am testing the shoe. Once I test the shoe, then I can put it out to market. So my first pair, I'm targeting athletes. I'm targeting people that I know. I'm making promo campaigns, might put an ad behind it on social media. Hey, this shoe makes you jump higher and it goes with your soles. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, that might be the way that you make your first marketing campaign. For me as a candle maker or anybody who I think makes anything handcrafted, pop-ups, I would say is probably the best first go move, make your first sale, or friends and family. That's why I say if you look in your community, it's a lot easier because they're already there. If you got an I clean trash cans business, you know what I'm saying? You just go around to your neighbors, hey neighbor, I think a couple of neighbors. I clean trash cans. Can for $25, I'm a kid, like, would you pay me $25 for trash cans? I would. Let's see how fast you clean those trash cans or cut grass or whatever it is, right? It's just getting your first sale. And the bonus, super simple, man. It's just repeat what works and X what doesn't. So, like I said, that could be figuring out the idea isn't that good, or that could be, okay, this part works, this part doesn't work. So it's really not over complicating the process, like simplifying the process as much as possible. That idea didn't work, or my shoes work, but I understand that people don't really want the mobility piece to it. They just want something where it's comfortable on and off the court. I just need to pivot whatever I'm doing. Let me not focus on the bounceaholic 3000s. Let me focus on cushion and support. For candle making, okay, I just noticed my scent throw wasn't as strong the first time. Let me just make a better scent throw. Let me test that out. So whatever your product is just repeating what worked for your product. Oh, people like this and they don't like that. And you kind of have to take your ego and pride out of it. So like for me, when making videos, I know sometimes people don't like when I do Yap videos like this. Sometimes they do. Sometimes people prefer to make me more candle videos. So I'm going to make more candle videos because I know that's what people like. But I'm also doing this as well to kind of test the market and see what people like and what people don't like. So ultimately they'll decide. But all you have to do is just once they decide, okay, it's between these two things, just choose the thing that you feel like you can be the most consistent with. You know what I'm saying? That is the ultimate thing. Find what you can be most consistent with, and then repeat what works, take what doesn't. All in all, you need to make this process as simple as possible for you. You don't want to overthink it. So if it's an idea you feel like you're overthinking, then maybe you need to sit that down and find an easier idea. And it doesn't mean you're being hard on yourself. It does not mean that you're quitting. It just means that you're making, and listen to me because I want you to hear me clearly. If you're still here, just drop a thumbs up, like the video, comment real quick, just say, hey, I'm listening. If you're listening, do not make this process complicated for yourself. For a lot of people like me who have analysis paralysis and who can overthink things, you want to make this simple as possible. I'm not going to tell you how many hours, how many days, how many weeks, how many years I have spent overthinking things when they could have been so simple. And I'm not saying that the process hasn't taught me things, because you're still going to learn the process. But the first thing you need to do is believe in yourself. And the second thing you need to do is just do it. Like Nike says, just do it and make it as easy and simple as possible for yourself. Please cut out all the extra stuff. You do not need it. You don't need it. And when you'll need it, you'll add it. You'll know. Just listen to yourself and say, okay, is this what people want? Is this what people don't want? Is this what I want to give them? Is this the solution that I have for them? And if you find that the solution that you have for them is not the solution that they want, you can be like, okay, well, I gave you what I had. If that's not what y'all need, I'll find somewhere to give other people what I have. You know what I'm saying? That might want it. And whether it's in the form of that product or another service or whatever. Don't try to build something that you don't have no experience doing right now, and go based off your skills and your strengths. So if you know that you're good at teaching, start a tutoring business. If you know you're good at, and if it's something that, hey, I'm strong at this, but I don't really like it, it depends on how bad you want to make money. If you know that you can make a lot of money with it, do it. But if it's like, no, I want to do something that I like, then scratch that idea and then go find something that you like. You know what I'm saying? You want to get there as quick as possible by cutting out the foolishness and being efficient. So I hope that this video helps. If you're still here to the end, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? All that helps the algorithm. Till next time, appreciate you. Peace.